we have to master the art of partnership. We have to learn before you DM somebody and ask for a favor to present something of value to them. I'm not sure. That's really a good question. What's best for me and Sashin? So you know what I did this morning? I got up and got on my story and said, yo, I'm doing an interview with one of my homies from overseas. He a real hustler. I want y'all to follow his page. Check him out.
Hi, it's Robin Sharma, and you're tuning into the Millionaire Student Show with Sashin.
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 Hey everyone, welcome to another episode on the Millionaire Student Show, where I get the opportunity to pick the minds of this generation's thought leaders, change makers, disruptors, innovators, and inspirations. Dissect their story from the pain they went through, the price they paid, and what their prize looks like today. I formulated the Millionaire Student Development System and Company because this is what I was searching for when I first entered the entrepreneurial world at 17 years old. My mission and purpose is to serve you with virtual mentorship to consciously make your clock tick without taking the thunder away from today's guest. From the mist of humble beginnings, at 13 years old, he was washing cars. He also worked as a correctional officer for 2 years. He is one of the most well-respected and successful songwriters, rappers, and entrepreneurs. His career started off when he was signed with Jay-Z at Def Jam Records. He was also the first artist signed to P. Diddy's Ciroc Entertainment. In 2009, he founded his own record label called Maybach Music Group. 2 years into launching his music label, he signed artists such as Wale and Meek Mill. Despite the wake-up call where he suffered 2 seizures in the same day, which allowed him to find his purpose and define his legacy. He redefined entrepreneurship by mastering the art of leveraging his brand outside the music industry with entities such as Belaire, Bumbu, alcohol, Rich award-winning beard oil, Wingstop restaurant, lemon pepper, chief stix, acting in a movie soon to be released titled Coming to America, and writing a bestseller book titled Hurricanes A Memoir. He has collaborated with almost every musician you can name, from Drake to Nipsey Hustle, John Legend, Chris Brown, Mariah Carey, to name a few. His first album release was titled Port of Miami, and his most recent piece of art, which is his 10th album, Port of Miami 2. According to the internet, he has earned more than 83 million US dollars in his entire career. This individual's lifestyle is without a doubt a movie. He lives in a 109-room house, a theater that seats 135 people, 350,000-gallon pool, which is the biggest pool in America. His closest neighbor is at least 215 acres away. Through it all, he still finds the time to balance work and family as he is a father of 4. The Millionaire Students, please help me welcome today's guest. You can't listen to any radio station in the entire world that plays hip-hop for an entire day and not hear one of his songs. He has 4 Grammy nominees. He won 2010 Men of the Year. His real name is William Leonard Roberts, but goes by the boss, Rick Ross. Rick, thank you so much for being on the Millionaire Student Show today, mentally, virtually, and spiritually with your wisdom and experience you're brought to bring. I'm a fan of your music, the way you run your businesses and your psychology, and the way you speak success into existence. So I truly appreciate you being on the call today, Rick.
I'm happy to be there. I'm happy to be here. You've been hustling like a boss. You deserve it. This is only the beginning for big things you have to come. And that's what it's about, being an author, being a writer, being an entrepreneur. It's all about networking and making sure you have no ceiling on your roof, baby.
Without a doubt, Rick. So from your humble beginnings to working at a car wash at 13 years old, and then going into the music industry and into an entrepreneurship industry, to those who don't know you the way I've managed to get to know you after studying your work and looking into your craft, and I'm not talking about Google, blogs, and opinions. I want to get to know the pain you went through before you even paid that price to now live the prize that what most people see. What was life like for Rick Ross before you entered the music world?
What I do want to make clear is we didn't have much. And me growing up watching television shows, I heard that so much from people that came from, where we came from. But I never wanted to complain about that. So I never really complained about that. That's what it was. That was a given fact. Now, what are we going to do about it? That's what I wanted to complain about. What's our options? What we going to do? And, as a youngster, you start pushing buggies. I started walking to the grocery store with my mom, and at some point you start hanging back, because once people see you helping the older women with their groceries to the cars, you may get a nickel, you may get a dime, you may get a quarter. So, I just learned as a youngster, whatever I needed to do to empower myself, I was willing to do it.
Great. And, Rick, during your foundational career and in high school, you had dreams of playing in the NFL. What made you transition from sport to music?
My love for music may have been greater than my love for football, because that's just based on how much I listen to music now and how much, I watch football. Music was always prominent in my life, but me being a big dude, I was always leaning towards sports. So that's what I did. And really, that's the only thing I could do. Middle school, high school, once I put myself in position where I could record, I could get with producers, I could write records. That's when it really took off for me.
So athletes are a force when it comes to work ethic, mental strength. And I firmly believe that when life happens to you rather than for you, it's mental pain rather than just physical pain. And it speaks volume knowing you come from that sporting industry, because, you truly understand delayed gratification. But how much of your price, which is your journey, and your prize, which is your current success, falls back on self-development, visualization, affirmations, speaking success into your life?
Manifestation. I really believe 100% come from the mental side of it. Because if you're mentally not prepared, there's nothing your body can do for you. If you're mentally not prepared, your body won't sustain the pain that you really that you got to be willing to go through to make it to the top. To become a multi-millionaire, this is not a year process. It's not a 2-year process. I don't give a fuck what you're doing or what somebody told you. To become a multi-millionaire, this shit take years on years on years on years. There's so many working parts about it coming together and clicking and timing, man. It's got to be timing. So, I wrote records for almost 15 years before I actually got a single out myself. So I watched other people become successful off of my writings. And I never had envy towards that. I understood that. That's, like I said, going back to the beginning. To me, I'm a firm believer that if you really want to be a CEO, you gotta love watching other people progress as well and let your work speak for itself. Because if you the most motherfucking valuable player, they gonna sit you at the head of the table. That's just getting money. That's what good businessmen do. If I have somebody around me that's a sharp thinker and quick and witty and coming up, hey, matter of fact, I like how you do that. Come in. You just got another check. I want you to keep doing that.
80% of life is psychological and 20% is the mechanics. As much as both of us right now we work extremely hard, timing and seizing the moment, but I strongly believe we as human beings create that moment. whilst you were on the ground floor in your career, and in fact, let's even dig deeper, the basement. I know you love speaking things into existence. Your tattoos are a true reflection of that. Were you always a visionary? Did you always picture the life you were going to live? And what did that process look like?
I did. Even when we didn't have much and we was eating, 10 bowls of cereal throughout the whole day, and I loved it. I love Fruity Pebbles. I love Captain Crunch growing up. But I knew because everybody on my neighborhood, it was so disproportionate, as a majority, as a whole, we all didn't have much. But every 3 or 4 houses, it'd be somebody who had a Mercedes Benz. And I'm like, damn, what they do to get the Mercedes Benz? God bless my father's soul. He had a Buick. I forgot what kind of Buick, but we used to call it Scrappy. I loved it, but you had to ride with the windows down. But, at a young age, I knew there was a difference in lifestyles. There were options. How you got there, that's something I had to find out and learn earlier. But when I was young, I knew, I want to have an ATV. I want to have a damn mongoose bike. I want to have a GT Performer bike. Why I can't get a GT Performer bike? Those are some of the questions you have, but when you really have love for your mother and you understand that ain't nothing you even go in the house and ask.
Rick, so you get into the music industry, and as talented as you are, every industry boils down to you bridging that gap between talent and who you know. And there's 2 questions to this. How vital was mentorship before you had the success, and who inspired, motivated, and shifted you?
To me, as an artist, as an entrepreneur, mentorship is almost mandatory because there will be expensive prices for you to pay. That's just like me getting empowered. Once I was financially in position to begin buying franchises, I'm not even sure how many I have now. I stopped counting after 30. But I know, I got to thank my team for making it happen. It's not just me, it's my team making it happen. But I understood that after I began buying them, the mentorship would have really helped me, letting me know, Rose, you have to have your management in place for these franchises. You can't just buy the franchises, post, I'm looking for a manager, and thinking everything gonna fall in place. That mentorship would have told me that, but that's something that I had to experience and learn myself after a decade in the franchise game. And that's something that I could share with your listeners or somebody else that's listening to me. You gotta have your management in place before you put your structure up. And your management, that's starting with yourself. Your life is the most important job you will ever have. Your life is the only true CEO you will ever be the CEO of, and that's your life. So that's how you better run it.
And who was that mentor that really and truly guided you in the foundational phase?
I really want to say the same way I spoke about it in my memoir, my high school football coach. He was a fearless man. He was a man that wore the same shirt and shorts to work for a week straight. He never smiled. And his the way he motivated us and pushed us to work, the way he pushed us and taught us, it's a God of the game. That's what he was screaming. It's a God of the game. If my back turning, if you got 100 push-ups to do, if you only do 70, the God of the game gonna see you.
Definitely.
And he ain't gonna let you slide. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, we was young, like, damn, that's how you get injured? The God of the game? Oh man, I ain't gonna never cheat. If I got 100 push-ups, I'm gonna do 102. You know what I'm saying? That was our mentality.
Love it. I want to dissect your work ethic because you just talked about that before you even peaked in life and in your career, because people judge successful people on their external life of what they see rather than what they did behind closed doors. And that's because we get paid and recognized in public for what we actually do in private. But I've personally got this tagline, work like you broke. And I know, I've heard you say your hustle, you'd hustle different. And I've heard you even say you can't remember in the past 10 years when last you had an 8-hour sleep. In 2006, you released a song, Every Day I'm Hustling, which I know you work like you're broke despite earning your way to a 109-room house. What was your daily routine during your grind before you had your first taste of success, Rick?
Well, you already know it is something that I live by. Your hustle determines your salary. And it's one of the things that I still live by today. If you watch my story on my Instagram, before I eat my breakfast in the morning, I promote close to a dozen of my brands. I incorporate them into my lifestyle. I'm a firm believer in that. I could look at your blazer, your shirt, your beard tape line, how serious you prepare for this shit. And that's how everybody must prepare when it's time to get your money. If you're a realtor, you have to incorporate selling homes into your lifestyle. When you in the grocery store and you meet somebody and you introduce yourself, you almost have a way of telling them if they're looking for a house, you got them. That's just the way it goes. And I apply it in everything I do, from the rich hair care beard oil to, what we smoking like, to what we drinking like, the Belaire, the Bumbu, the chief stix. And like I said, everything I just mentioned to you, one thing that they all have in common is they're all billion-dollar entities. They all come from billion-dollar markets. Tobacco is $1 million market. Hemp, marijuana are billion-dollar markets. Alcohol, billion-dollar markets. And this is something that's on pace with my lifestyle. This is something that I do. So this is something I wanted to be a part of.
Rick, what I love about you is if you're not going to think big, don't think at all. And you've literally got that in your mind. You're thinking big. It's so vital as a leader to cast vision for your tribe. And I know P. Diddy did that for you when he showed you a bag of money. Jay-Z did that for you when he signed you to Def Jam. But most people don't have access to a mentor who can cast that clear and concise vision or even show them what success looks like. How should the viewers find their vision?
To me, I think one of the easiest ways today is hitting that follow button. We didn't have social media. We didn't have people that we could watch and see what they do when they get up in the morning to how they end their nights. If someone with all this wealth, because us as people, we idolize wealth, and there's nothing wrong with that. To me, that motivates me. It drives me, and that's cool. But make sure your purpose is even bigger than the wealth. That's what's important. But we didn't have social media, so we couldn't watch how people move, because that's what I did. I wanted to know what kind of watch the big homie wore, what kind of shoes the big homie wore, what car the big homie drive. I needed, those type of, but it's different now. You could look online and see how people really move, and what are their favorite books? What are they reading? What are they digesting? How are they eating? And there's so many different ways, for you to lean towards whatever best for you. You know what I mean? So I get up and get on social media every morning and see what are the brainiacs thinking. I want to know what the brainiacs thinking. I'm a hustler. I know what I'm thinking. I already know what I'm thinking before I pour my first glass of OJ. I know what I'm thinking. We finna get some more money. We finna break some more records. Luke Belaire, that's the #1 rosé in the world. That shit selling more than Moet. Bumbu, the fastest growing rum in the business. The beard oil, that shit #1 in the game. It's carried by Sally's, carried by JCPenney's, we finna sit down with Walmart next. You know what it's gonna be like when Rosé get his hair products in Walmart? It's gonna be over. These are billion-dollar entities. And once again, they come from me not being a genius, but just being someone that's ambitious. And I'm gonna step out in the street and extend my hand to someone I know that could be a great partner to myself. And that's what we have to master, is wanting to be CEOs and building brands. We have to master the art of partnership. We have to learn before you DM somebody and ask for a favor to present something of value to them. Before you DM Sashin to do you a favor, do this for me, you need to post Sashin last fucking 5 podcasts. You need to show Sashin what the fuck you bring to the table before he even make a request. Those are the things we have to master, and that's mastering the art of partnership.
And that's exactly what I did with you. There was no coincidence in that.
Exactly how you got this interview. I don't do interviews with people online. I don't give a fuck It doesn't matter because 9 times out of 10, not because I may not want to, but 9 times out of 10, my frequency is on a whole nother wavelength. These motherfuckers ain't gonna know what the boss talking about. They gonna say, man, that motherfucker's crazy. No, I'm not crazy. I'm ambitious, and I feel like we don't have enough yet. We haven't done enough yet. It's so much more we could do. It's so much more life to live. That's a great way to put it. It's so much more life for you to live. You ain't did shit. We gotta travel, man. We gotta go to Egypt, man. We gotta go to Rio de Janeiro, man. Them bitches on the beach gotta jog by us and wave. Hey, yeah. You know what I'm saying? We got life. We got a lot to do. We got a lot of success, a lot of things to accomplish.
Definitely. Rick, in your journey, you've been through the roller coaster ride. You've been tested with every aspect in life. There are people listening or watching right now, and they're going through their own life problems. Some are big, some are small, but nonetheless, all of them are a test that formulates a testimony in life. What keeps you mentally strong and consistent rather than getting kicked off your path, derailed, and even going through self-questioning and losing faith?
I accept my responsibility. I accept the purpose. I accept the reasoning why I was born to be a leader. I understand when I was young, I didn't understand why didn't I fear certain things. When we was playing football in the street, why didn't I fear getting hurt? Or if we was riding bikes across the street, why didn't I fear? I understand now. That comes with being a true leader. And right now, as a black man, I'm on the front lines. And when I say front lines, I mean, it's of course, it's protesters, it's people out there really getting their voice heard. But I'm that supporting system that's right behind that. You can't win a war without no money. You can't go to war without no paper. You can't drive no tanks without no oil. I'm the oil. That's what Rose's position is. And that's where the inspiration comes from when I get up in the morning and talk to the followers and everybody else that's seeking the knowledge that I share. I'm not one of those Harvard graduates, the smart, and that's cool. But I never see them when it's time for the front line. I only see the streets. I only see the hustlers. And that's why I'm proud to be one, baby.
What is that defining moment in your journey that flipped the switch from the now lifestyle to the legacy lifestyle?
I'm not sure. That's really a good question, because it's really turning something into a legacy or turning your life into being a living legend. Not saying that's exactly what I am, but I'm just speaking for everybody that's listening. That's a slow process. That's nothing that you won't just wake up overnight and you see that. You won't just wake up one morning and your biceps and your triceps coming out your shirt. That's a slow process. And it take a lot of groundwork. It take a lot of networking. It take a lot of treating people right. You're going to have to shit on some who step on your toes. That come with the game. Being tested come with the game. Roller coasters come with the game. But as a whole, you got to remain solid and you got to treat people right. That's how the business keep coming.
I know you went through a very humbling moment in 2011 when you suffered those 2 seizures. I had a car accident last year myself where it literally pauses us and shows us that God is in control. We are going a bit too fast. We need to slow down a bit, certain times.
You better believe it. I suffered those first 2 of many to come. Not sleeping, not resting, drinking promethazine. I would sit up in the studio 3 days in a row, smoking, sipping, listening to music. And, my passion to become number one, I felt at that time was stronger than anything else. But like you say, once you realize you get sat down for a little while, you realize what's most important, your little ones and your mother, that smile that your people have around you. And, you just pray to get back. And luckily I was able to get back on my hustle and get back to the money and doing what I love most.
Hey, I want you to take a quick split second of your time. All I want you to do is hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications. I want to update you when I have a next iconic guest on my show. Stay in student mode.
Yo, what's up? It's the boss, Rick Ross, and you tuning into the Millionaire Student Show with Sashin.
When you got your first record deal, you did something very unusual and very uncommon. You didn't follow that traditional route that the first generational wealth followers. You didn't buy the jewelry, cars, clothes, or fall down that shiny branded trap. Instead, you kept your mind on something bigger, saving your music money until you knew what was the next big thing that you were actually going to go into. Was that an upbringing trait from your family, or was that appreciation to your hard-earned money, or was that you didn't want it to fall into that trap?
I want to say it was a mixture of them all, because to me, y'all done fed me those 99-cent noodles long enough. You can't start feeding me this Hawaiian ribeye for 3 years and then take it back from rosé. It ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? And to me, coming from where I come from, my biggest fear after becoming successful was becoming a failure. I think I feared becoming a failure more than death itself. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I put working hard before everything. You know what I mean? I didn't want to, when I got my first check from Jay-Z, I didn't go and get a big car. I ain't spend shit. I was doing shows. I was doing sometimes 7 shows a week, getting money, and I'm looking at the bag of money saying, damn, this shit crazy. But guess what? This shit may be over next year, homie. What you gonna do next year, homie? You're gonna be a failure. You ain't gonna have shit. You're gonna have to get that big house back. Oh, that shit'll make me, I'll get up right then and find something to do. That's what I do. And as a boss, that's what being a boss is. You make up something to do. You find something to do. I don't give a fuck. It could be you thought it was a day off. Man, get up. Let's get dressed. Let's go and do this. Let's go and march with the people. Let's go and, because even during the COVID, I've been hustling. I've been finding shit to do. I've been helping rebrand all the brands social media wise. I've been communicating more with the fans who DM me, Rose, what's up? And I just been talking shit to them.
It's that inner voice that you got to continuously remind yourself you're no one, although you know you're someone.
It's not a doubt in that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about what you got. It's do you got what you want? Don't compare your life to my life. You know what I'm saying? That's for anybody listening. Don't compare your life to a Jay-Z life or a Puff Daddy life. Look at yours. Look in the mirror. Do you have what you want? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I've heard you say the moves you make, you ain't never in no rush and save until you're sure what the best next move is. What is your decision-making process mentally before you jump in with both feet?
For one, we done dedicated so much time into building the empire. What's best for the empire, not for me personally? Because a lot of times I'm willing to roll the dice and maybe do something that may not be best for the empire. And that means I got to think for us both. You know what I'm saying? I got to think what's best for me and Sashin. So you know what I did this morning? I got up and got on my story and said, yo, I'm doing an interview with one of my homies from overseas. He a real hustler. I want y'all to follow his page, check him out. That's what I did this morning because I'm thinking about the empire. What's best for the moves me and you make? If we gonna do it, let's go all the way out. And are we going all the way out? And if we not, it gotta be another reason we doing this. You understand? If we ain't gonna go over here, what a big gathering of people to let our voices be heard. If it's 1,000 people over here, that's where we want to go. But if it's only 20 people over here, they elders, they need a little help. They can't make it over there. Let's go over here, homie. So it's got to be reasoning to it. And long as we have some reasoning to it, I'm with it. And that's the decision making I made. Like I told everybody, me growing up, I never learned my multiplication. And that ain't shit I'm proud of. I would have loved to be a genius. That's why I taught myself to speak well, read well. Fat boy, you got to be articulate, man. Oh, yeah, you do. I concur. You got to do shit like that when you realize your shortages. You got to strengthen your strengths. So that's what it is.
You're always giving advice, and I love the advice you're bringing because it comes from your wisdom. But what ultimately would be the best advice you ever got in life that really hit home and sunk in today?
God is the greatest. For one, you got to keep big homie first. As long as you keep big homie first, it's hard for you to face, it's hard to have fear. And when you lack fear, you possess confidence. And confidence is something that many can feel in a room. And if you're a person that can't, that's fine. You just ain't make it to that frequency yet. But you get to a certain point after you've took losses, you've accomplished things, you realize somebody who has a certain amount of confidence, and that's somebody that you're willing to invest in. You know what I mean? So I just, I put the fear to the side. Fuck it. If we gonna do it, let's do it. If we gonna go buy us a surfboard and we gonna say, fuck it, we surfing this summer, knowing damn well none of us know how to surf. We don't even know how to get on the damn board. But guess what we do? We gonna do, I'm gonna go get me some fly ass shorts. I'm gonna have a chain on and fuck it. I'm gonna goddamn fall off the surfboard until I learn to surf or until I catch a wave, baby.
So building your value is such an important trait. If you raise your standards and evaluate your value in life, you cannot expect someone to appreciate and respect you way before you were even titled as the boss. How did you personally build value for yourself in such a competitive industry?
I outworked my counterparts. When I began working at the car wash at 13, if you worked at the car wash after your first day, after your first hour there, you knew that nigga trying to get some tips, boy. Fuck yeah. I go get a bottle of water and leave that motherfucker in your motherfucker right there in the middle of your console for you. And this years before drinking water was even cool. You know what I'm saying? So I think, just me outworking everybody, me dedicating myself and doing more than what everybody is. It's like if I do a partnership with somebody, whatever the requirements are, fuck that, throw that out the window. I'll do that shit in 3 days because this is a passion of mine. And if you one of those people where you do a partnership or a contract and they say, well, we want you to do 10 posts every month and we want you to do this and do that. And if you one of those people who live by that type of shit, you've already met your ceiling. They already see your value. You really know, they already know what you're nothing. That's how I would look at you because that's the standard. You've become the standard. You're average. And even if I never made more money, the people I became partners with, they realized I was priceless. They realized I was valuable. So when it was time to do another contract, before they even came to renegotiate, they already said, we're going to put another $1 million on that for you because such. And that's when, after you put in the type of work you do, that's when you could say, I was assuming you was going to put 4 on it. And you know what? They say, fuck it. I'm going to give you the 4, big homie, because I see your vision. So if you live by the 10 posts that they ask you to do, that might be too much for you already. They need to downgrade you to somebody that may only ask you for 5 because Rose going to do 100.
Love that.
100 in 2 weeks.
Over-deliver.
You got to over-deliver. I'm going to promote my shit while I'm cutting my grass. I'm going to be on top of a John Deere tractor. I'm going to tag John Deere. I know the people at John Deere saying, who the fuck is this? This motherfucker cutting his grass and tagging us every 2 weeks. Yeah. And guess what? I'm not getting paid by John Deere, but I'm going to tag John Deere and I'm going to work that tractor so damn hard till somebody going to contact Rose. And that's how we go. And that's what I'm telling my followers. You have to become a presence. You have to shine a light so bright that they either put you on their team to shine with them or you become a goddamn nuisance.
Rose, I want to switch gears for a moment. I'm very intrigued by your entrepreneurial journey. I mean, you went from an artist to formulating Maybach Music, Belaire, your own alcohol brand, Rich Award-winning beard oil, Wingstop restaurant, lemon pepper, chief sticks, to name a few. So when did you realize that you've mastered your craft as an artist and now it's time to diversify?
I'm still learning. I'm always happy to say I'm still learning. But once I separated myself by watching, there were so many artists that sold more records than me. I have a platinum album and a slew of gold albums, a slew of number one albums. But to my left and my right, there will be counterparts that sold 4 and 5 times more than I did. But when it came to investments, when it came to real estate, when it came to entrepreneurship, when it came to financial freedom and really who got the most motherfucking money, I was always far ahead. And I used to ask myself, what the fuck are they doing with their paper? If you just sold an album that sold 5 times more than mine, you should be in an entirely different position. But when you see them still financing shit that you buy that shit and you just say, yo, you understand. Once again, we going back to the mental side of this. We could do this the physical way, or we could keep this shit strategically on the mental side. And I realized that's what the biggest difference between myself and others were.
We're both running teams. I mean, in just one of my companies, I'm personally running and leading a team of 130,000 distributors. In every one of your businesses, you have articulated a world-class team. What is your strategy in running, leading, and inspiring your team? What is it like working with Rick Ross?
You have to, first and foremost, you have to want it more than me. I'm a firm believer that the coach can't want success for the athlete more than the athlete wants it himself. I can't coach you into being a motherfucking Olympic boxer if you don't want this more than yourself. So first and foremost, number one is you have to understand my work ethic. I don't sleep 8 hours a day. I haven't in 15 years, maybe. I don't want to. I would rather be up. I'm happy when I'm working. I'm happy when I see progress. I'm happy when we have something new we could talk about some shit we did that we would have never imagined. That's what satisfies me. And so for somebody to get on my team and make it, and if you realize it, that's why I keep my team very small, is because it's very little laughter, what you bring into the table today, not what you did last month, not what we did last month, today. What have you done? Are you on Instagram looking for bitches in bikinis, or are you looking for photographers? Are you looking for writers? Are you looking for producers? Are you looking for, it's a difference.
Is it easy to stay relevant in the hip hop industry for a decade plus? Because I mean, you've done it and a lot of respect goes out to you. I mean, one of my businesses is a record label, and you know, someone who I actually took a lot of advice from, foundational advice, was Akon, Dre London. But to every manager, artist, and CEO of a record label, or not just music, but an entrepreneur, what advice would you give to up-and-coming rappers or entrepreneurs who want to achieve longevity?
You just got to stay in the streets, baby. And when I mean stay in the streets, I mean, of course, your product got to be number one, but it's all got to flow together. The flow got to go. From the way you dress, your style, the vibe, the energy that you bring into the culture. You know what I'm saying? Your responses in your interviews, all that shit has to be a certain wave, man. It got to be a certain vibe. And me coming in the game, all I knew I wanted to be was a boss and get money. I grew up in a city where you was either rich or you was broke. You know what I'm saying? You was either a playboy or a hustler. You either wanted girls that were shaking their ass standing around a pool, or you wanted a mansion. And I made my decision at an early age. You know what I'm saying? That's all I could tell you. You feel me? So whatever it is you want to do, my advice, if you love it, you do it, because that's what you're going to do the best.
We're living in a world full with competing, tolerating each other, which is sad, rather than celebrating and elevating our brothers and sisters. In any part of your career, did you feel that competing was the only way to the top, or did you just focus on your lane, your race, your process?
No, I did think about competing, because if you, for any second, think that it's not a competition, you lying to yourself. Because when you doing what you're doing, there's thousands and thousands of people doing the same shit somewhere else. And there's some people that's going so hard, it's unbelievable. It's artists that write 15 records a day, 10 records a day. I used to be one of those artists that could put together 15 songs in a day. And I remember at one point I used to hear somebody say that, oh, he bullshit. No, it's real. It's real. Those 20-hour days in the studio, it's people that really sit up and produce their podcasts. It's really people that study this shit. It's really people that go and prepare themselves in a way that you wouldn't believe. And I pray if you want to be one of the number ones at what you do, you have to be one of those people. You can't wake up and get dressed 15 minutes before you leave and think you're going to be the flyest motherfucker at the spot. It's people that's really laying this shit out, and that's going to come hard. You know what I'm saying? So it's most definitely a competition. I most definitely always was in a competitive sport, but it's like, I pray you love what you do. You know what I mean? Yeah. Regardless of how competitive I am or how competitive the game may get, long as I love what it is I'm producing, I know I'm going to win.
A typical example was today. I told my team to back off. I focused 6 hours on this podcast. People watch the 30, 45, 60 minutes, but they don't realize the 6 hours on the preparation that creates that masterpiece.
Oh, most definitely. But once again, like I said, that's the reason that you have interviewers like myself, and they're only going to continue to grow. It's because, like I say, the ones who on that frequency, they could see it. They could feel it. They feel the energy. It's real easy for interviews to go left. That's why artists and celebrities don't do them a lot. Because a lot of times people really don't understand you. They only understood your last #1 album or your last #1 film when it's been 20 years in the making, and they don't respect that groundwork. And that's what feels the worst. That's what hurts you the most as an artist, when somebody don't appreciate that dub you done put in, that 15 years of that decade of groundwork you put in.
I've heard you say knowing what not to do is as important as knowing what to do. Can you elaborate on that?
In the same way I said when I wrote my memoir, because I came from a different lifestyle in a different city where, it's real gangster shit and not that rap gangster shit, but for real. And so, like I said in my memoir, I said, what make me a boss is not what I say, it's what I don't say, which make me the boss. You know what I'm saying? And so it's the way you do everything.
What's the first thing you do when you wake up and the last thing you do before you sleep?
I thank God for waking me up. You know what I'm saying? Several attempts on my life, seizures, G shit. I'm one of those ones that I want to make a scene. When I come into an industry, I just released my first book. I wanted a New York Times bestseller. Shout out to Neil, my homie that wrote it with me. I want to make a scene. When I came into the rap game, I came in the rap game dissing 50 Cent and everybody else who I felt could have potentially been a problem anyway, because I'm an alpha male. That's what I'm on. So I want to initiate it. I'm one of those people. And that's how I am when I'm in the streets. Like, motherfuckers don't fuck with Rose because, you know what I'm saying? That ain't the energy I'm on, but I don't want to slap the shit out you. But don't play with me. You know what I'm saying? We here for a reason. Don't play with me. You know what I'm saying? That's why I give niggas respect off the rip. If I fuck with you, I'm going to salute you. And we keep it going. But I come from a different spot, homie. And so when I get up in the morning, I'm thankful to rise. That's the shit I post what I'm going to eat, and I say morning glory. And a lot of times that go over people's head, and it's almost like I'm praying for you. If you seeing this, morning glory, baby, give glory to the man upstairs, because we here. And if it's our time to go today, we going to go out like some true champions. We ain't going to beg you for our motherfucking life now. And we ain't getting in nobody trunk. That's how I was raised. I'm just one of them. You know, where we from, motherfucker, try to kidnap you. Sashin, get in the trunk. Nah, we ain't going nowhere. We one of them, Sashin. You got to sit down Indian style on the motherfuckers. I ain't going nowhere now.
And that's that attitude of gratitude. That's why you internally bless, Ross. That's why you have it attracting into your life.
And brother, I am blessed, because it teaches you how to put your personal interests to the side a lot of times, because you will please those. Believe it or not, those are the easiest to please. It's your meaningful reasons that you hear. And that's what it is. And I look at everybody that's around me, my beautiful mother, my sister, my children, you know what I'm saying? The influencing that we do on each other. Like I say, I always give my love back to the team. You know what I mean? I give my love back to the team because I lean on them so much, but it's most definitely, homie.
If you could work with anyone in business or in the music world, dead or alive, who would it be right now?
Sade. It'll be Sade.
What's on the horizon and in your vision for Rick Ross? What's your legacy right now?
Man, you know, I'm excited because we continuing to expand. Like I said, I'm excited about the cannabis, you know, the cannabis brand, Collins Ave. I'm excited about Gate City Athletics, getting to work with, you know, some athletes. And once again, we're continuing to grow. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, we have upwards towards 15 to 20 partnerships. And it's not stressful at all because we've made it a part of our lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? As we sit here and do the interviews, we're enjoying what we actually get money with. We smoking what we actually get money with. You know what I'm saying? So once you incorporate it into the lifestyle, to me, I just feel like, man, it ain't nothing but, you know, bigger shit to come.
So it's that lifestyle, but then you're delegating to your team you're the visionary. You're making sure you cast that vision and they do what they're good at and you focus your energy on expanding it globally.
That's most definitely it. It's like me walking into a room and getting to listen to a young Meek Mill. And once I seen him, once I heard his tone of voice, once I heard his passion, come to Miami with me, homie. That's me running in the strip club, running across Wale, meeting Wale for the first time, and just seeing that twinkle in his eye. I say, this boy want this shit. And that's what I seen, I understood. I knew there was differences. Nothing will be the same. There will always be differences, and I understood that. But I knew what to put them close to, what producers to put them next to, what directions to see them off in, and just to see them boys blossom into what they are. Shout out to Wale. He just released a new project, The Imperfect Storm, last Friday. And of course, Meek Mill, he recorded new music. I'm working on a new album.
Love it.
So just to see everybody shine, man, it's some dope shit.
Your book is a bestseller. And I want everyone at the end of this podcast, I mean, if you truly are a millionaire student, go to the description, click below. There's a link to purchase the Rick Ross book. Go get yourself a copy. So I want you guys to get this copy. I want you to study it. Not because he's a rapper, not because he's an artist, and not because he's an entrepreneur, but he has literally bridged the gap of life and balanced everything and literally kept living. Rick, where can people get the book? Where can people follow you? How can people connect with you?
You just let them know they could get a link down low, but you could hit me up on Instagram. That's where I'm usually at whenever I'm smoking. I'll be flicking through Instagram, at Rich Forever. You know what I'm saying? Rich and family, rich and, it's so many different things you should be rich at.
Before we close it up, I created a community which has blown up, and I'm talking about 500,000 plus students, not students from the traditional education. I'm taking on traditional education, and I'm making self-development the root of growth. So we created the Millionaire Student. Why? Because people continuously ask you and I, how can they become a millionaire? And I keep telling them, keep remaining in student mode, keep learning to earn. What advice would you give the millionaire students?
Oh man, most definitely. I gave you my book really was my blueprint, and I'm not pushing this book on you. It's not about, we've accomplished great things with it, but it's more about the message and the story that's in it. And that's just being that young dude, the cool dude, the ambitious dude. I grew up around real G's. And in one of the chapters, I speak about this. One of them took me in his house, and he put a clothespin on my nipple and told me to leave it there for 60 seconds or he was going to beat me up. And I said, damn. And I said, oh, that ain't no problem, because I knew this was a real G. That clip was on my nipple for 15 seconds, and I said, fuck it, I'm gonna take this ass whooping. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that was always valuable because I understood what the value of heart was. You gotta have heart. When you making these moves, when you going to work, when you executing these dreams, you doing this for your life. And it ain't nothing more valuable than that. So have your heart when it's time to accept those challenges, because stepping out on your own, everybody gonna challenge you. Don't nobody wanna see you checking into that big hotel with your blue Ferrari, with your bitch of your dreams, finna go to Bell Harbor, Neiman Marcus. But if that's what you desire, let's make it happen, and let's find a way to enjoy this shit. Let's get online and put nigga so much work in, but find a way to enjoy it. Let's enjoy it. Let's not complain. Damn, I've been on the computer all day today. Fuck yeah, we've been on the computer all day today, and we finna put in another hour. That's what it's about. And that's what I try to express to my homies. Nah, it should be the other way. Boy, I'm tired because last night I went in. That shit was, woo! It's a difference. Are you gonna be a winner or a loser? And it's just that simple.
In closing up, this is a trademark question that I ask every one of my guests. What does self-talk sound like with Rick Ross?
A self-talk with Rick Ross is borderline magical. I'm somebody that could listen to sounds and actually see them in colors. I close my eyes and I tell myself, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to see happen. Let's invest in ourselves. You're never too big to be hands-on. A 250-acre estate. I went and purchased a tractor and 3 more lawnmowers, and guess what? Me and my team cut it ourselves. And we don't say, damn, nah. The Ferraris and all that shit parked over there. But we ain't too big to be hands-on. Remain hands-on. If you bought a home and you got piss behind your toilet, clean that piss up from behind that toilet today. Be hands-on. Get that shit off the side of your mama house. Be hands-on. If that fucking gutter hanging down off the ceiling, get somebody to help you to push that shit up there and nail it up. It only takes 15 minutes. Remain hands-on. And that's how you got to do life. Be a boss, man. It won't be no ceilings. Trust me. And that's coming from Rose. This is a dude who I just wanted to get out of the projects. And I'm somebody that done became a millionaire 7 different ways. I'm somebody that done made little homies into millionaires more than 7 different ways. So what I'm trying to say is, when we sit down to the table and we brainstorm, let's execute this shit. Let's go hard. God is great. Let's stay solid. And if anybody challenge you, accept that shit and go hard.
Rick, thank you so much for being on the Millionaire Student Show. I truly appreciate your time, your wisdom, your value, and most importantly, just being you, man. Just being real, not the typical successful person who's too high and too fly. Thank you for your humility. Thank you for being you.
Much love, baby. Salute everybody, boss.